I think I'm obsessed with the idea of difficulty and different ways that things can be made difficult.
I just love the feeling of knowing what my body can do or what you can get your body to do.
It's really, really interesting to watch the progression from trying something that feels impossible the first time and being able to learn different body positions and different tricks, different even ways of breathing, that you can put the thing together and eventually climb it to the point where it seems easy. And that's really awesome to see, and also in the competition context to force into a really small frame of time.
It's a very emotional thing for me. I love climbing. It makes up so much of me. Climbing is a way for me to learn about myself, learn what I'm capable of, or learn the things that frustrate me, and how I deal with frustration is a big part of climbing for me.
So you have to, put the time into it, and it's just this huge problem you have to solve, and the more interesting, the better. It's just more appealing than anything else, really, yeah.
My name's Io.
My name is Casey Wilson.
My name is Luis Pavon. I've been climbing since I was 10, so that's probably over 13 years now.
I've been climbing for about 10 or 12 years.
I'm the head route setter here at Joe Rockheads Climbing Gym.
For most of that time, I've been climbing at Joe Rockheads, indoor rock climbing. Yay!
I grew up in Mexico. That's where I got into climbing.
I'm one of the few competitors that is also a setter at the regional and national level.
I was a competitive gymnast when I was a kid, and climbing just gives me all the things that I miss so much about gymnastics. It stuck with me right away. I just fell in love immediately, and I just kind of dove in.
One day I just saw these guys out there with a whole bunch of metal on them, way up on the cliff, yelling at each other, and I knew. I knew. I was like, that's what I want to do.
I did my first year as a ranked athlete 3 years ago. I've been doing the Tour de Bloc for about the last 6 years.
Joe Rockheads is the first indoor climbing gym in Canada. There are quite a few things that make this place special. I think the gym has always tried to keep a strong connection with elite climbing, with competition climbing, and then drawing those stylistic connections back down to the first day climber.
I have been climbing at Joe Rockheads for about 6 years. It's just a really encouraging and supportive community. We are so lucky to have a head route setter like Io here. He pushes us to learn new things. He is learning new things himself all the time to be able to bring that into the gym here. We're really lucky to have that.
I have to set a round of competition problems that will challenge the group of competitors, but also select the most varied climber. That's pretty tricky to do because first I have to decide what makes a well-rounded climber, then try to figure out how to express that as a boulder problem.
It's easy to get really nervous about what your performance is going to be like, but the most important thing is just to go in with a clear head and, just tackle each problem and just do the best you can, try as hard as you can, and, don't leave anything behind.
I've screwed up my fingers many times. I go through tape a whole bunch. I don't know, maybe my tendons can't take it as much, or I don't train well, maybe. That's something that is a possibility.
My training schedule for this year started back in October. Some of the things I'll do is spend some time doing some visualization or meditation and preparing for what's to come.
I competed in the experienced category this time. I think I would have liked to compete in open, but I've never done an open format before, where you have a specific amount of time to do each problem.
One of the most exciting parts about a competition is that we don't tell the climbers how to do the boulder problem. Once their time starts, it's their job to interpret what's on the wall and how they can get to the top. Different climbers will try and probably be able to succeed in the same problem in very different ways. Every route setter can be considered to have their own style. How I can pull people in a direction is really interesting. I like to play with it a little bit more and imagine that I leave some areas for interpretation so that the climber can figure things out a little more intensely, a little more personally.
The problems were great. Yeah, the routes were awesome, really fun, really thought-provoking. And I really liked how there was a few ways to do each thing, so it wasn't height restricting. I saw all kinds of people get on all kinds of problems and everybody was enjoying it and having a good time.
I know what to expect with Io's setting. I thought he brought a little more thought to everything. You know, you kind of needed to work it out a little bit more than maybe usual.
You could bring your own style into it for sure.
What was really nice to see is that you had to be good at so many different things, and I think that's really great for athlete development in Canada and in the sport in general.
They just extracted as much as they could out of those holds.
Casey did really well. The first round was designed to be really shocking from the start for the women. I was excited for her and excited to watch her move through the problems.
It was a great event. It was really fun to be part of it. I ended in 13th place. Every comp is different, so you just kind of have to take what you can learn from it and move on to the next one. Overall, I was really happy with most of my performance. I really enjoyed the climbing.
The competition was great. It was probably the best problems-wise and the best organized that I'd been to. The climbs were so accessible and the different body types could do them, so there was different styles even in one climb. I was surprised that I was able to do one of the harder problems that I did not think I could do.
I was just super excited when I came down and just give a couple of props. That's really cool though that, you know, the gym was behind me that way. It's sort of exciting.
Another part of climbing that I really like is the community. The people in rock climbing are just some of the best people I've ever met. I see people in the gym here all the time. They don't compete, and they are so strong, and they work for it. And I think that's what's so inspirational about climbing. It brings out the best and the worst in people. Seeing the best in people like that is really motivating. You start to get more familiar, I guess, with the people and sort of what their stories are. Everyone comes from a different place, whether it's like you had an injury or something and you had to come back from that. It's so human to see the stories and to just connect with that.
Every route after it was done became the favorite. And maybe it's true with all the routes, they're all your favorite for the first, few minutes after you set them. The excitement's really fresh and new, and hopefully that translates a bit when people try them.
Time you have a chance to try something that you've never even thought of before, then you take a chance at it, and the Tour de Vlogs are that chance for me, a chance to go somewhere and try something that just blows my mind, and to just even be able to try this stuff is pretty rewarding in itself.
What does climbing mean to me?
What does climbing mean to me?
Climbing means a lot of things to me.
It's my work.
Adventure.
Climbing is community.
It's my escape from working life.
A connection to nature. It's a connection to other people.
Learning something about yourself in the process, and maybe even bettering yourself in that process. And it teaches you how to deal with failure. It teaches you how to set goals, if you let it.
It brings out the best and the worst in me. Climbing is who I am.
If I can, I'll do it for as long as possible.